I've got everything I need on my person and in this pack in order to be safe, warm, and comfortable when out on winter adventures, going out for things like skiing, snowshoeing, or hiking. I'm gonna be heading up this trail here, and before I do, I need to put on my micro spikes because it looks really slippery. In addition to the micro spikes, there's a bunch of other gear that I bring with me in the winter time that I don't necessarily bring during the summer months. One of those items I have inside my jacket here, and that's how I deal with staying hydrated and managing water in the wintertime, because you don't want your water freezing. If you're out in really cold temperatures, if you keep a water bottle on the outside of your pack, there's a very good chance it'll freeze. So I use a platypus soft water bottle that I just stick inside of my pocket of my jacket, and that way it stays nice and warm and doesn't freeze. Normally I just wear thin synthetic gloves when doing winter activities because my hands get really warm and I like having the dexterity. But if it starts getting cold, then in my other chest pocket here, I keep some thin wind mitts. So these are just little thin wind mitts made by Outdoor Research, and I can just slip them on over my gloves, and they actually keep your hands quite warm. I've pulled these out in conditions where I've started losing feeling in my fingertips because my hands were so cold, and within 5 minutes my hands were toasty warm. An unfortunate thing about them is that they're not waterproof, but in the wintertime you don't really need that. Decathlon also makes a cheaper version of these that is waterproof. They're just a little bit heavier and a little bit bulkier. If I'm heading out in deeper snow, then I'll often throw on my snowshoes, or I'll use my Black Diamond Glide Light Trekker skis. Right now, the snow isn't quite deep enough for the snowshoes, so I just have them strapped to my pack. But let's take them off and take a closer look at the pack, because this pack that I have here is awesome for winter conditions. So this is the Gregory Targhee Fast Track 24 packs. This is the lightweight version of their Targhee line, and it has a bunch of features that I really like. First of all, you have a bunch of webbing loops down the back here, and I have some black diamond straps I used to strap my snowshoes on. You could really use these straps combined with the webbing to strap anything to the back of the pack. It's super convenient that way. It also has some great features for skiing. So there's a little loop that you pull out of the bottom here, and with this loop, you just tuck your skis into it, and you can carry your skis in briefcase mode, or you can use this loop attachment here, put it around the skis, and then attach into the shoulder strap here, and you can use that in order to carry your skis if you're hiking up a mountain or doing some sort of traverse if you're at the resort. And I've used this pack at the resort. I've used it for cross-country skiing, I've used it for snowshoeing, hiking, a whole bunch of different kind of winter day trips, and it's been awesome for that. Right now in the hip belt pocket, I have some snacks, and I like to keep my snacks in these Rusby bags, so you can just put some dried food in here. Like I have almonds right now, and these are just nice reusable bags, also dishwasher safe, so if you do have something that's a little bit messier, then you just throw in the dishwasher after. Before I dive into what's inside my pack, I want to talk a little bit more about what I'm wearing. All my clothes, you can go check those out at a video I'll post in the video description where I talk about my active wintertime clothing system, everything from these pants, this jacket, gloves, all that stuff. But something that I don't talk about there is my watch. This is the Garmin Fenix 6 Pro Solar Watch, and what I love about this is navigation features. In the wintertime, a lot of the trails are covered in snow, and if someone hasn't been down that trail in a really long time, then you may be having troubles navigating. And what's nice about the Garmin Fenix series is you can load up a track onto the watch and then follow that track using the built-in topo maps. Sun protection is also really important in the wintertime. I have these sunglasses that are photochromic. I wear photochromic sunglasses so I can just wear them all the time, and I don't need to worry about whether it's cloudy or sunny. They'll just adjust the tint of the glasses depending on how much light is coming into them. And even if it's cloudy, you want to be wearing sunglasses in the wintertime because you're getting hit twice. Once from the sun coming straight at you, and then also as it reflects off the snow. And then inside the pack, I always carry a little bag filled with goodies, and there's some more sun protection items in here. This is a little tin of Dermatone skin protectors. This is SPF 23, so I use this as sunscreen on my face, but because it also creates a barrier on your skin, it also helps a lot with windburn and frostbite. Some other items inside of this little goodie bag, I have a wag bag, so if I have to go poop when I'm out in the middle of a trip, then I can just pull this out and have a good leave no trace scenario. I also have my first aid kit, and in here I have a fire starting kit, which consists of fire starter. So just these little fire starters from Bigfoot Bushcraft. These work really awesome. Just one little spark and they'll get going. And in order to make that spark as well as create fire, I have a little Swiss Army classic knife. So the little knife, you can use that to shave off pieces of wood to create some kindling. And then I have a little ferro rod that slides into the toothpick slot, and I can use the knife of the Swiss Army Classic to create a spark and light that fire starter. I also carry a headlamp in here. This is the Nightcore NU25. The days are so short in wintertime that it's very easy to underestimate how long something's going to take or how long it's going to take you to get back to your car. So it's great to have a headlamp in order to light the way if it does start getting dark unexpectedly. And then I have a battery pack as well. Batteries just die in the wintertime, so it's important to have backup power. This will charge my phone, which I sometimes use for navigation, but then it'll also charge my Garmin InReach. And the InReach is here in case I run into trouble, get injured, or need rescue. I can just press that SOS button and helicopter's gonna be coming. It's also great to check in with loved ones back home. I'll use the preset messages to check in with my girlfriend every now and again, or if I'm coordinating with people outside of cell phone reception, then I can use this as well. Something that a lot of people don't talk about is how crucial this is if you're heading out driving in wintertime. A lot of the mountains in the Canadian Rockies, there's no cell phone reception, and that's one of the most dangerous parts of my journey. If I get into a car accident or slide off the road, then I can use this to call for help. Another item that I keep in this little bag is hand warmers. So there's a few different ways that I use these. I can just use them to keep electronics warm if it's very cold, or I can slide them in a different clothing piece in order to keep things warm. They're just awesome to have in case of emergency. If my hands start getting cold, then I can put on those windproof gloves, slide these in between the two, and keep my hands nice and toasty. A lot of the items that I have in here are for emergency situations, and one of those is an emergency bivvy. So this is the SOL Escape Light bivvy. This breathes a little bit better than the emergency bivvy, which is important in wintertime because you're going to be producing a lot of moisture, and that's going to turn into condensation. Condensation is going to get you wet, and as we know, being wet and having a lot of moisture in your systems and insulation is very dangerous in the wintertime. And then I carry an extra toque. So in here, I think I also have a buff, so I can just put this over my head, cover my face. A lot of the time I don't wear a buff when I am hiking or snowshoeing or skiing, but if it starts getting really windy and cold, then I can just throw this on. And then the toque adds a little bit of extra insulation if I am getting cold. I carry an extra pair of socks as well. If I step in a creek and my feet get wet, then I can change into these and hopefully not lose my foot to frostbite. What's also nice about these is that if my hands start getting really cold, I can use these as little mitts, throw these on, and then put those windproof mitts over top of them, and then my hands are going to be nice and toasty. Socks are actually very versatile, a lot more versatile than they get credit for. And then my main piece of insulation that I keep in here is a down jacket. So this is the Trek 100 down jacket from Decathlon. If it's a little bit colder out, I'll sometimes carry the Trek 900 down jacket from Decathlon. Both very affordable, very warm jackets for how much they weigh. And I'll throw this on if I'm starting to get a little bit chilly, or if I stop for a break, for lunch, then I'll put this on as well, just so I can maintain as much heat as possible. I think you can see a lot of this gear is for staying warm, and that's super important if you run into an emergency, if you get injured, or you run into somebody who's injured, then you can keep them warm while you wait for help to arrive. Depending on the type of trip you're on and how much you want to mitigate risk, you could also throw in a sleeping bag or quilt as well as a sleeping pad, and that way you're really set in case of emergencies. You could probably get through the night with a sleeping pad and quilt if you start a fire in order to stay warm. With the gear that I have here, you probably wouldn't be able to spend the night outdoors in very cold temperatures, but if you throw in a sleeping bag or quilt and then a sleeping pad rated for winter temperatures, then you could probably get through a really cold night until help arrives. Before I get into some of the items I bring in order to be more comfortable and have fun on winter trips, I want to talk about my repair kit. So this is in case something breaks on me while out on trail, whether that's my pack or my snowshoes or my skis. Your mode of transportation is one of the most important things in wintertime. If your skis or snowshoes break and you're unable to repair them and have to walk out, it could take you way longer to walk out of a situation than if you do have your skis or snowshoes. You could end up having to stay the night, and if you don't have the gear in order to stay a night, then you're probably gonna die. I'm gonna be honest with you, wintertime can be very dangerous, and I wanna just drive home the factor of being safe out there. And my repair kit is one of those things in order to be safe. I have a bunch of zip ties as well as chicken wire wrapped around that so I can wire things together if I need to, or zip tie them. These straps from Black Diamond are also great for repairing things. And then inside of this other little bag here, I have a few more things for repairing. First of all, I have a very robust Leatherman. So this does a few things. It has a screwdriver in case I need to tighten any screws on there. And then it has wire cutters so I can cut that chicken wire in order to repair things. And I also have backup lights, batteries, and duct tape in this little bag. So if you're getting out there and you're using snowshoes or skis in order to travel in the wintertime, then having a good repair kit I think is essential and something that's not very often talked about. And then when I am stopping for breaks, I like to take a seat on a Z-Seat foam pad. They're just really nice in order to keep your butt warm and comfortable. And then I also bring a thermos with a hot drink. So some hot apple cider or coffee or tea is just really nice just to warm the soul up and just keep you a little bit warmer when you stop on your breaks. If you're interested in moving the needle and doing some overnight multi-day winter trips, then go check out a video post right up in the corner there where I go over all the gear I bring for overnight winter camping, things to keep you warm and safe when you're out there, but also gear items to help you with things like peeing in the middle of the night.